member of WildGamesProductions.com and D20Radio.com. They came from the game table, dice bags in hand.
We have one brain that we share between us.
To talk about role-playing for all across the land.
How'd you like it?
The original, then basic, then one they scoured.
Kinda grabs you by the boo-boo, don't it?
To bring AD&D to the second power.
You want me to put the hammer down?
Welcome to THACO's Hammer, the best damn AD&D 2nd edition podcast ever.
Well, I will have to look for that. I'm still trying to do, what was it, Demon Slayer that my grandson wants me to watch? Or something like that. I don't remember. Hi, folks. THACO's Hammer. We're back again, and this is Splat Book number, I forget.
162.
162, thank you. And that is DM Brian right there.
Hey, folks, what's going on out there?
And we also got DM Full On Gamer, you may have heard.
Greetings, Gamer Nation, coming to you live from the middle of Outbreak Land, where it is chaos and we whirl the roads with our war wagons. Witness me!
It is turning into Car Wars out there. I can say that. Oh my god.
Come get some.
But yes.
Joy heroic, live forever.
All right, let's go to hits and crits.
Well?
One thought he was invincible, the other thought he could fly.
So?
They were both wrong.
Son of a bitch is dug in like an Alabama tick.
You're hit. You're bleeding, man.
I ain't got time to bleed.
We're sending somebody in to negotiate. Anybody else want to negotiate?
Hits and crits.
Hits and crits. I'm dying to find out what this sounds like because I'm doing this on my Fire HD8 tablet.
It sounds fine. Just every once in a while there's a little bit of an echo, but it works just fine.
Echo. Okay, well, we'll go by that. So how you doing, Brian?
Let's see. Dealing with the reduction hours on my main job, and to cover for that, I'm got an increase in hours on my home care job. So yeah, some nights I'm not getting home till 9 o'clock. Aside from that, I reached a milestone with my own podcast, Confessions of an Arcade Addict. I just put out episode 25 last week.
Yeah.
Yep. And I'm probably going to record episode 26 tonight, depending on if I don't blow my voice out talking to you jokers. Anyway, let's see. Aside from that, just trying to keep my sanity through all of this chaos and trying to keep the bills paid and so forth and so on. That's pretty much it.
Well, that's good. 25, episode 25. You're doing good.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that.
Okay, no problem. I just finished for tomorrow's episode number 660.
Well, you do one every day.
That's right.
Yeah.
I can get over 10, 15 minutes every day.
Yeah. Yeah, see, I can't do that. I talk way too much, as you probably have heard.
What do you say, Full On? What's up?
I'm up to episode 3 of my COVID-19 response video series. Yeah, I have a lot to say and rant about, so I'm trying to offer people helpful, useful suggestions from a military solutions to civilian problems background. So I've started posting some things on YouTube. Look for Johannes Bowers. You can find me out there. I got a little playlist going, and I'm adding to it as I get the time and opportunity to record something cleanly. Other than that, I've got Grimmer Space Kickstarter playtest invite to drop in on Roll20 middle of the month. So I'm going to verify if I'm going to have time to partake in that and do so and let you guys know how that works out. I've been getting elbows deep into lots and lots and lots of my good anime. Yojo Sinki, Saga of Tanya the Evil, the perfect epitome of lawful evil. Everybody who's a GM should watch it. If you want to know how to make goblins nasty and bad, go watch Goblin Slayer. It starts out rated R. Give you advance notice on that. but it has good, fun, clean. This is why goblins can be bad and shouldn't be underrated by anyone. If you want the lighthearted version of it, you can go to That Time I Got Reincarnated by a Slime, other good animes to follow up on. But yeah, it's a good mix of things ongoing just to keep myself entertained and occupied on the road when I'm on my downtime waiting for the next load to run. So staying busy, staying healthy.
Good. What's your service? What's your service you watch them on?
Amazon Prime. Also, I own the discs, so I've got them in the truck with me. Those are very good stuff. I outright bought them. But you can see Saga Time the Evil on Amazon. Goblin Slayer is a Funimation or Crunchyroll thing for people who want to go there, and a couple other sources as well. It's some good stuff out there.
Okay, good. Just want to know where they could find it.
And Spectrum. You know, if your cable provider should have the anime channel, and it's got a bunch of stuff in there as well. You know, just like Dr. Stone, that's also a fun one. For when we go into the real apocalypse.
Yeah, this is a bit of a dry run, isn't it? as disappointing as I am in some of my fellow Americans, yeah, this is a dry run. This isn't an apocalypse yet. Whoever's saying that needs to slow the roll.
I don't want to see it in my lifetime, so you can just about kill me now, I guess. Let's see.
So what you been doing, Glenn?
What have I been doing? I've been doing, I got this nice new tablet here. I've been having fun with that. I've doing my podcast every day.
Mm-hmm.
I'm churning it out. I'm still not on the fence. I'm still on the fence about whether going to North Texas or not, but we will see how that goes.
Mm-hmm.
And I did a couple of YouTube review videos again. Well, I started that up. I finally got a decent camera to use.
Oh, cool.
So I did a review of Fantastic Heroes and Witchery.
Uh-huh.
Which I would recommend if you're the kind of guy who's looking for something to write or something to run and immediately goes to the 1E DMG for help.
Oh.
Get that. Yeah, use that and Fantastic Heroes and Witchery because, yes, you can jury rig a game out of this. And I wouldn't mind doing that because it's got some interesting ideas and it's got some really nice appendices in it too.
Mm-hmm.
And my other review, oh boy.
What?
It's a translation of a French RPG.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
Épées and Sorcerie.
Yes, Épées and Sorcerie. Yes.
Which has the most confusing initiative I've ever seen.
That's saying something.
I mean, it starts out, goes back to the old, okay, first thing you do, movement. Second thing you do, range. Third thing you do, man, you know how that goes?
Yeah, the old back me version.
Mm-hmm. Until I said, screw it, I'm just going to, everybody roll initiative.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But hey, let me try and explain this to you. You're fighting another guy. Or you're fighting something else, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And it's first of all, it's ascending armor class, okay?
Okay.
So it's just, and by the way, the system is all D6 based.
Okay.
So it's like the stats go from 2 to 12, and
wow.
It's a 13 level cap, a 12 level cap.
Of course.
And but the initiative is what got me. There's other things I find kind of screwy, but. You're fighting somebody else, okay? And you're doing the usual, D20 plus mods versus their AC, right?
Mm-hmm.
And whatever. But they're doing the same thing. There is no initiative. You just go movement, thing. There's no initiative rolls. Everybody goes at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
And when you're fighting somebody, you both roll at the same time.
Oh, I see.
And if you roll over the AC, you hit. If he rolls over your AC, he hits.
Right.
But it all depends on who got the higher roll.
Right. It's sort of like they're incorporating actual fencing into an RPG.
I don't understand it though. I mean, okay, you've got an AC of 10. I rolled a 12. You hit. I have an AC of 12. You rolled a 15. You hit.
Right. But he hit you better.
So I don't do any damage?
No, I think it might be. I think, like I said, I think they're doing a fencing mechanic instead of it being just down and dirty melee combat. That's what I think. Well, leave it to the French to come up with that system.
I don't know. So
it feels to me more like it's almost a BattleTech thing at that point, where they say there's initiative, but there isn't. It's really simultaneous. And then if I hit and you hit and we hit, and bam, we see who's still left standing after everybody takes damage.
Yeah, but I think me getting over your AC should say I hit, not whether you got over my AC better than I got over yours.
Well, like I said, just using the fencing dynamic, just watching an Olympic fencing match between two fencers where someone will do a lunge and hit you on the arm, but you lunge and you hit him in the chest, you would get the point because you hit him better than he hit you. I think it's like that.
It sounds like they're trying to take D&D combat and Tunnels and Trolls combat and mash them together. That's what it sounds like.
And using only D6s.
Yeah, using only D6s. Oh, here's another thing. There's only 3 classes. No thief.
Well, that's interesting.
There are elves, dwarves, halflings, and orcs as as races.
Okay, that's not so bad.
12 map, and if you look at the classes, each one, they have the bonus. You only get like hit dice up to you don't get it. I don't think there's any, except for maybe a fighter, that gets their hit dice up to their level 12, because like priests stop at level 8,
right?
And wizards only get their hit dice every other level. And
wow.
and then they put the racial limitations on. Oh, well, a dwarf can only be a cleric up to 3rd level.
Yeah. It's human-centric. We've had that argument.
Yeah, but the whole point is, I mean, if you're gonna jack around the regular human classes, then you jack around if you want to jack them around when you want to play a race too. I know incentive to play this game, to tell you the truth.
Did you actually say that in your review?
No, I did not. No, I didn't. I'm saying it here, so I guess I'm committed. So I should, but it's just, and it's of course it's a very popular game in France.
Of course, it's a popular game in France because a Frenchman invented it. You know how nationalistic the French can be.
I guess so. But the guy who translated it put a message on there on my YouTube when I did the review, trying to explain combat to me, and I still didn't understand it.
Wow, that must have been bad.
It was good. Yeah, Epi is just so sorry. I mean, the only one I can think of worse is the Dark Eye. Which is,
I've never heard of that one.
Well, that's German.
Ah, okay.
And it's been in English for about 10 years. But I've seen video reviews on it. I won't touch it.
Okay, fair enough.
I remember Tetsubo reviewed it, and he said, the people who wrote this game had to be engineers.
Yeah.
Because so granular.
Like trying to decipher the Iron Crown Enterprises critical hit system, which is entertaining in its own right. But
yes, it's entertaining, but man, is it brutal?
He was going on about the skill system, where you can make your skill, but you have degrees of making it, and then it gets so damn granular. How about if I just stand here and do nothing and let them hit me?
Well, you got to also realize, there are game systems like Pendragon that are like that. You know, I've had stories from former players in my campaigns about, things about uh someone actually jousted Richard the Lionhearted and barely lost because the
Yeah.
die rolls got so granular. That's how it's all resolved. That's just what it is.
Yes. Just go on YouTube and search for Dark Eye Review.
Mm-hmm.
And just watch some of those. It'll blow you away. I told, it's like I saw it like 5 years ago. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I was in Galveston with the family. We were on a road trip to go see the grandkids who were there at the time.
Uh-huh.
And I walked into Books A Million looking for something to read. And I went to the gaming section. They had the usual stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But I saw The Dark Eye. Oh, core book, $50.
Whoa.
At the time, $50 was a lot. I mean, this is before 5th edition.
Right. Yeah, $50 is still a lot.
But then I saw they had a digest version for $20. I said, "Oh, okay, let's take a look." The first thing I did, I just thumbed through it and looked at the character sheet.
Mm-hmm.
3 pages of character sheet.
Yikes.
I put it back.
I don't blame you. You're not that kind of guy. You're not that kind of guy. You're not that heavy detail oriented. Neither am I.
What got me was the Tetsubo review. Tetsubo likes crunch.
Mm-hmm.
We're kind of opposite.
Well, there's crunch.
Even he couldn't take it. Saying something.
Yeah, well, there's like there's crunch, and then there's trying to chew an everlasting gobstopper and shattering your teeth doing it because there's so much crunch.
No, there's crunch.
FASA Star Trek role-playing game.
Oh God, yes.
Traveler, first edition.
Well, yeah, where your character can die while generating it. Yes.
See, for me, there's crunch, then there's being anal.
Well, we are. No offense, but we are talking about a German RPG, are we not?
Yes, and
the Germans have a reputation for being very detail-oriented. Yes.
Yeah, he said these guys are German, but worse, they're German engineers.
Yes. Yeah, they probably work for BMW or Porsche. Yeah. And they developed this in their spare time.
It's a game that caught on instead of D&D.
Wow, isn't that crazy?
Because they came up with their own version before D&D got there, I think.
Oh, what? And because they started exporting stuff to other countries in like 82 or 83, I think.
Kind of like the way the Brits latched on to Tunnels and Trolls because it got there first.
Well, yeah. Well, wasn't it also made by an Englishman?
Tunnels and Trolls?
Yes.
No.
Okay. All right. I thought it was.
It's from Arizona.
Okay. Okay. I was just making sure about that because
Anyway, let's go into emails.
Okay, I got 2 emails. Let's see. First one is from Keith.
Keith. Okay. What's he say?
He says, "Gentlemen, I'm writing to thank you for hosting such a wonderful and enjoyable podcast for so many years. I can't count the number of times I've gone back to listen to favorite episodes from your back catalog, and the new ones continue to amuse and entertain."
Yeah, I don't know how we do it. I think you just jinxed us now. We're
winging it.
Hey, we've been winging it for 10 years. Hey, let's just call a spade, shall we? Okay, to continue. As a cast, you have tremendous chemistry, which makes it a pleasure to listen. And your knowledge of the best damn edition of the game is astonishing. Wow, jeez.
Swordsman.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Let's see. Full on, congrats on your retirement and thanks for your service. I beat you to retirement from the Air Force by a year. I'm still attached like a sturge to the DoD, however, working as a contractor. I admire you for taking a wholly new path and enjoy hearing your tales from the road. Anything to say, Full-On?
Well, he might have gotten out earlier, but did he stay longer? I pulled 29 years.
Yeah, I was gonna say
I only got out because they wouldn't let me stay.
Wow. Jeez. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, they basically pushed you out. That's true. Okay, to continue. Speaking of, if any of you ever end up in the Hampton Roads, Virginia area and are up for a game, any system, as either a player or DM, I'd love to set something up. My stepsons would love it. You know how to reach me. Thank you all again, and keep putting the hammer down. Kindest regards, Keith.
Thank you, Keith. That's great.
That's awesome.
Yeah, which reminds me, I have a standing invitation in Kentucky that I should probably take advantage of.
Mm-hmm.
Robin Irwin, he says every year him and his buddies get together and go out in the Smoky Mountains. Smoky Mountains? Yeah.
Yeah, Tennessee.
Yeah, they go out in the Smoky Mountains for camping and D&D.
Mm-hmm. Hey,
and
nothing wrong with that.
I'll do that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Jeez, I went to up middle of Massachusetts back in the day to LARP. So yeah, sure.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I've done tournaments for SCA before. Yeah.
Oh man, that was so much fun. At least until our fighter's knee gave out because he was wearing an actual 50-pound chainmail shirt.
Ouch. Well, and Vince used to tell me tales about them going out in the woods. He says he was in summer camp or something. He played Marvel superheroes face rip all summer.
Hey, nothing wrong with that. Absolutely.
Yeah, he's going to summer camp. But yeah. Anyway, thanks, Keith. Now, damn you, COVID.
What happened?
No, it's just that I'm thinking about it. I could be in Mexico with my grandkids playing basic D&D right now, or Labyrinth.
Mm-hmm.
A couple of years ago, at night we had like all week, and every night I would run them through Isle of Dread.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They just loved it.
Yeah, but there are online alternatives. It's not quite the same as we all know, but it is viable.
I know it is. I've been living with it for weeks. It's not the same.
No, it's not the same, but it's something. It's as opposed to nothing.
I do too. My Monday game and my Thursday game already went online for the duration.
Mm-hmm.
That's about all I want to do.
Well, okay, so you've officially lost interest in restarting Hammers of the Duchy. Is that what I'm hearing?
Don't put words in my mouth.
I just wanted to make sure. Because, it's going to take me a little bit, but I can get it started.
Look, but I'm not the kind of... I haven't been trolling on the internet for games like Gage does. Sitting there for hours and hours playing.
Glenn, can I say something? Can I say something with all due respect? If you were... Let's see, how old is Gage now? 17?
16.
16? If you were 16 years old and living in this time, you would be doing the exact same thing.
I doubt it.
I don't. I don't.
You know what my office looks like?
Yes, I know.
Rows of DVDs and Blu-rays.
I know.
So,
well, then there's that. Yeah, we'd have to drag you out of your office in order to game. I get it.
Yeah. No, so I can use the big TV.
Mm-hmm. But
I'm really jonesing for face to face.
Mm-hmm. I understand completely. Glenn,
my table's big enough. I mean, everybody can be 6 feet apart. I also
that table is big enough.
Picked up one of what's the maximum size Chessex battle mat you can get? Mine was delivered. It's at the house, and I have to put it on the floor because the table, which is 12 feet long, is not big enough for it.
I have one of those. It's called a Mondo mat.
Oh my goodness! Gee, how big is that thing?
They're like 100. It's like I could put it on my bed and use it as a blanket. A king size bed.
Oh my! Okay. So that's like what, 7 feet by 6.5, something like that. No,
I think one of the dimensions is like what, 106 inches.
Jeez.
Frog God redid Tegel Manor, and they offer a map. And I saw the map at the last. You should have been there at North Texas. People were playing Tegel Manor on this map they made that was silk screened on 2 shower curtains.
Oh my God! That's craziness.
They would lay it on the floor, and instead of miniatures, people would use those little red laser pens, pointers, to say, "I go down this way."
Oh, wow.
And then he moved the token,
Jeez, that's crazy. But let us not forget Corey's own setup, that he's talked about, projector with Lexan and everything like that.
I've seen people who do that before. And then there's the ones where they put the TVs under, they cut the hole in the table and put like a flat screen TV in there, and then they project the map from their computer, that kind of thing.
Yep.
There's also that.
Yep.
I mean, there's many ways you can do it.
Yeah.
Anyway, thank you, Keith. Thank you for that email.
Okay. We got one more.
For this show, I can tell that. Anyway, give us another email.
Okay, we got one from DM Randy. This one's a little long, so buckle in. Okay.
All right.
He says, "Hey, great wielders of the hammer. It's really good to see a few recent podcasts out. I was getting worried. I hope all of you and your families are healthy and well during this COVID crisis." Yeah, we're okay, I think. Let's see. I've been listening to the podcast for several years and have listened to most of them. I lost track a bit in the 80 to 100 range when the files were missing a while back, but I think I've caught most of them. Yeah, I had to re-upload a whole bunch, and Vince had to do some things to reconstitute it. But yeah, we got that done. That was like about, a year and a half, 2 years ago. Okay. I really enjoy listening to each of you. Your insights and house rule ideas have found their ways to my table on many occasions. That's the highest compliment I think we could be paid, to be honest. Oh my goodness.
Yes, the minions are learning.
Yes, they are.
They're leveling up and becoming powerful.
It'd be more powerful than either of us. Anyway.
They're using our hack stuff?
Yes. I'm good with this. I'm all good with, like I said, that's the ultimate compliment. Okay, to continue.
Hell, I rip off myself all the time.
Yeah, exactly. I find stuff I made 30 years ago. I'm like, I actually wrote this? Wow. Anyway.
Why am I not using it?
Exactly. Why did I stop using this again? I forgot. Okay, to continue. One thing the more recent Splat books have been missing is current play experiences. Corey added a lot of recent game experience and another viewpoint on top of your 3 varied experience and thoughts. Yeah, I know. Corey has been chained to his easel. We haven't had him on the show in over a year. I made a point to say that to him when I spoke to him on Facebook 2 weeks ago. So yeah.
Did he claim to be chained to his easel?
Well, that's what he's doing when he's not working his first job. He's like, he's got like 60 or 70 commissions.
Damn.
So, yeah, he's just. Yeah, I'm surprised.
And there's still some family issues for resolution with medical stuff going on too. And
yeah, that's true.
That's a big part of what he's got to deal with too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Damn, he's making money. I'm envious.
Yeah, well, it
happens.
happens.
That's why I don't pressure him. I said, "Dude, you're making money." Okay.
Exactly. That's why I don't jump on him either. Because I miss him too. Okay. Yeah. Let's see. I was wondering if you would be interested in adding a guest speaker or fourth wielder of the hammer. I play in a second.
Always.
Yeah, we're down for that anytime. Let's see.
Sure. How long has that invitation been open to people if they don't want to just call in and leave voicemails, coordinate a little bit, and you might end up on the show?
Yeah.
Even Kojo doesn't even do it.
Yeah, well, Kojo's been busy too. As a matter of fact, I need to get a hold of him. I see him floating around on Facebook all the time. We got to get him back on. It's been too long. Yeah, he's a history teacher, and that's why I haven't been doing the history green splat books, because he provides a really good perspective on that. I need to talk to him. Okay. Mental note for later. Let's see if I remember it. Okay.
The only green splat book that matters is Dark Folk.
That was brown, actually. Yeah, I have that. That was brown.
Wait a minute. You're talking Rolaids here?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, fine.
Mm-hmm,
I thought you were talking splat books. Sorry.
No, it's okay.
I'm making a joke.
Yeah, he was.
I burn the punchline by making the joke spelled out like the Germans do.
Because the first thing I thought it was, I have that book.
I have it too. I've had it since 1985. Anyway, okay. Let's see. Now he's going to give us his resume, so check this out. Let's see. I discovered D&D through the Dragonlance Chronicles trilogy. A lot of people did back in 1984.
No comment.
Yeah, hey, the stories were good. The adventure line left something to be desired, and we'll leave it at that.
No comment.
Okay. Let's see. I was borrowing the books from a friend's older brother and was just starting book 3 when he told me these books were based on a game that we could play. I was blown away and I started asking my parents. This was at the end of the 80s or the very beginnings of the 90s, and my parents were concerned about the satanic panic, so it was a no. Yeah, I know, exactly. Let's see. The funny part is the satanic panic went away by like 88, 89. But anyway.
We're still dealing with the remnants too.
Yeah, every so often, but we know enough now just to laugh at these people because these people are ridiculous. And yeah, I say that.
Laugh at my wife.
What's that?
Hard to laugh at my wife.
Well, some days you just got to do it, Glenn, and just suffer the consequences.
I digress.
Yes. Yeah, we'll leave that alone. There are members of some of my immediate family who feel the exact same way, so I'm in the same boat. It's probably one of the reasons why they don't talk to me nowadays, but I digress. Thankfully,
my opinions on them anyway.
Yeah, exactly. Thankfully, due to some older siblings and some other kids on the street, I was able to get into a game soon after. We played a mishmash of the black and red box with Zanzer Thames Dungeon, Thunder Rift. Yeah, I know.
Thunder Rift, yeah.
Yeah, isn't this interesting?
Good stuff.
Mm-hmm. The AD&D Player's Handbook and the Dragonlance box set. As kids and teens, we supplemented this collection over the years, but the materials available to us during this time has imprinted the way we play to this day. Yeah, it usually does. Speaking as someone who started playing when he was, 12 years old?
I love he says kid on the street. It sounds like he was getting it from a pusher.
Yeah, exactly. Hey kid, hey, I want ED&G right here.
Here's the whole.
You've never seen this before, kid. This is a D30. You won't know what to do with it.
That's funny.
Kid, you want to play a role?
First one's
Marcus,
free.
you need to go.
That's what I was going to say. Here's the Holmes book because the first one's free.
Go on, close the door. Go watch your videos.
But yeah. Well, any way you can get it,
Exactly. Yeah, and I got it every which way. I bought it, I stole it, I borrowed it from friends. Yeah, any way I could get it, I was into it. Anyway, let's see. The Aiden. No. Right. Around 16 to 17 years of age, chasing girls and smoking funny-smelling cigarettes took priority, and we stopped playing D&D. Yeah, that does happen too.
You didn't chase the right girls. They would play with you.
Yeah, no kidding. Are you kidding? Those were unicorns back in the day, full on. Come on, man. You lucked out. You hit the jackpot, my friend.
I'm talking about when I started playing in Germany as a child in the 7th grade. We had them.
Yeah, well, that's Germany. It wasn't like that here.
Those are Americans.
Yeah, no, trust me, full on. There were some, but they were very few and far between, and it was like everyone was like, ah! Anytime you saw a girl who played D&D, and what's more, played it well. Okay, to continue, because I'm digressing again. My stuff followed me through a few moves, but eventually got tossed in a dumpster. Yeah, I know that feeling. Yeah, I know that feeling all too well. Oh, he did it himself. When I tossed my stuff in the dumpster, one of the old players from that campaign actually saved a player's handbook, monstrous manual, and a DMG. In our late 20s, I managed to assemble a group of players that actually contained 2 players from the former group. With those 3 books that my friend had rescued, the campaign is still running today with a group of 6 players.
Wow.
Yeah, isn't that something?
That's great.
We played mostly published material, so I can add a lot to your discussions and add opinions and experiences. During this campaign, some of the material covered has been Wrath of the Immortals, Dungeon Magazine modules, good, Dragon Magazine modules, Hollow World, Mystaran Almanacs, and the Pandius website, of course, Against the Giants, Vault of the Drow, Menzo Baranzan, Temple of Elemental Evil, where he put a TPK in there. Yeah, that place is a TPK waiting to happen. Tomb of Horrors, that's another TPK waiting to happen. Vecna
Lost
Lives.
a ranger in the temple.
What's that?
Lost a ranger in the Temple of Elemental Evil last time I played. QE game.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's a tough. Yeah, it's a tough module. It really is.
He was a great ranger and killed all the monsters. He just couldn't survive getting squished by a statue toppling on him.
Yeah, that would be unfortunate. I take it you missed a deck save or something.
It was one of those really, I'm going to die. He's going to die this way.
Yeah. After all he's been through, he's going to have this sort of ignominious end.
Knocks a statue over and crushes him. Great.
Yeah, isn't that fun? Let's see. Vecna Lives, Ravenloft Grand Conjunction, Castle Amber, Baba Yaga's Hut, the 2E version. Christmas.
Baba Yaga's Hut?
Yes.
Baba Yaga's Hut.
Baba Yaga's Hut. That's what I said. Did I say that or I say something else?
You said something else.
Okay, my bad. Yeah, Baba Yaga's Hut.
Oh, he squared off against John Wick and lived. Excellent. And?
Yeah, exactly. Let's see. Christmas one-shot games, annual Halloween Ravenloft games, Caverns of Thracia, Red Steel and Savage Baronies, Dragonlance, both the regular and 5th Age. Wow, he actually played 5th Age. I have to give it to him there. I couldn't do it. Let's see. Spelljammer. It has been added a lot. It has added a lot to our campaign. I know you guys aren't sold on it. Dungeon Land. Oh God, the stories I could tell about Dungeon Land.
Yeah, I know.
Let's see. Currently playing. We run several parties concurrently to avoid burnout of a story or class. Let's see. Party 1 is Archons. Last played during Christmas one-shot in the Hollow World. Most likely will spend some time at home in their domains, but may decide to go on an adventure to find a magical forge that the dwarf PC has been searching for. This is an extremely high-level party. Their levels range 18 to 24. That's, yeah. Well, that's high level in, 2nd edition. Let's see. Second one, currently playing Dark Tower, the Judges Guild Dark Tower. They completed Caverns of Thracia. Let's see. Magically Aged Offspring. Okay, this is getting interesting.
I mentioned Dark Tower at Tavern Chat last Wednesday.
Uh-huh.
And, like, the person I was talking to, I'm not familiar with that.
Wow. What?
I'm not familiar with that, because we were talking like Judges Guild and old D&D modules and stuff. It was like, I mean, I talked about how I got my Judges Guild collection again, and I says, I'm going to run, I ran Dark Tower, and it's like, oh, what's this stuff? And I goes, what's Dark Tower? So I had to put a link up there, and it's like, Judges Guild, Janelle, I'm not familiar. Go find this.
Yeah.
Read it.
Yeah, the old stuff.
Don't
get involved in the new stuff. You might be labeled.
Yeah, well, we're talking about the old stuff, but even a guy who I thought was at least like 40, he's like, what's Dark Tower? Then somebody else put a link to no, not that board game.
Yeah, exactly. No, not that Dark Tower.
No, I'm talking about this Dark Tower. Janelle Jacquet's Dark Tower, okay?
Yep.
Anyway, go on.
Okay, let's see. Party number 3, Dragonlance. Currently playing the 5th Age Saga system. 5 modules in the Apocalypse Stone. The player has some Dragonlance natives. Party, I mean. And may your former Mystaran adventurers who are magically transported to Kryn space. The campaign's days are numbered as Apocalypse Stone will destroy Kryn and this party. Yeah, you run the Apocalypse Stone adventure, you're basically destroying your campaign world, because there's no way to get around it. Let's see.
Says you.
Yeah, well, hey, I've read the Apocalypse Stone, and I'm like, nope, I would never run this.
So Saga is hard to deal with, the Saga system?
The system is really, really different. they call it D&D. I wouldn't call it that. It's just that different. And
well, I almost picked up the Marvel Saga version.
Yeah, the dice are different. The way you do things are different. Yeah, I'm not I've never been a fan. Never. I honestly think TSR made a mistake by putting Dragonlance in Saga system rather than just committing the resources to doing it right and bringing it up to second edition speed the whole way through. But yeah, I digress. Party 4. This one's interesting. Deep Space Nine with a Y, Spelljammer. Let's see. The group has their own space station based courtesy of the Spelljammer module Wildspace. The space station gives this party opportunity to swap members in and out, some on the station, some exploring on a ship. The adventuring group is returning to their space station after winning a Star Wars-like rebellion in the module Crystal Spheres. Yeah, this guy is a veteran of Spelljammer. My goodness. Wow. Oh, let's see. The last one. Party number 5. This group is arresting in a manor house in Galantry. Mid-level characters armed like the high-level characters by the Archons, which is his first party. This is almost incestual the way these things are tied together.
Well, what he needs to do is to take Spelljammer, move it up into Black Powder, and maybe even more.
I wouldn't be surprised if they didn't do that.
18th century and do Treasure Planet.
Yeah, they could do that. Let's see.
Have a campaign like that in Wild Space. That'd be great.
Yeah, this is crazy. This is absolute craziness. Let's see. Upcoming, we have Planescape, World of Greyhawk, Forgotten Realms, Undermountain, Myth Drenor, Rock of Brawl, Bruce Hurd's Kaladar, and a Red and Pleasant Land all on the horizon. Wow, these guys. How do they have the time to do all this?
That's where all the gamers went. If you want to know where they are, he's got them all.
No kidding. My God. I'm like, how do you have time to even eat or do anything else human beings do when you're gaming this much?
What do you think gamers do around the game table? Why do you think pizza shows up?
Oh my
so we can eat while we play.
Goodness gracious.
You don't have to eat then play.
I know.
Priorities, man. Come on.
Wow. Well, yeah. You'd fit right in with this group full on. My God.
Well, the current analogy to that is I never see my grandsons anymore because they're on the computer playing D&D.
Yeah. Well, that's how it is. They found their version of D&D. You just got to let them do it.
This is my version of spending your whole weekend playing D&D.
Yeah. Weekend nothing. The whole month. At least 3 times, like when we used to do it when we were teenagers, like 2-3 times a week at least. After dinner, over the phone, or we gather together at somebody's house. Things like that. I mean, the fact this guy is a grown adult, I'm thinking somewhere in his 40s, and he's doing all of this, I'm just floored because I couldn't do it. Even if I didn't work 3 jobs, I couldn't do it. I got too many other things going on. But anyway, I digress once again.
I'm blown away by it.
Yeah, I'm absolutely I'm floored. I'm absolutely floored.
I'm blown away by it.
Yeah, it's just everything, just the melting pot of campaign worlds and game systems they've got going on.
Let's be, as he's in his 40s, how does he find all these people to play all the time? I got time at home, and I can't find because everybody's working and stuff.
Well, this is how. His next sentence. We're playing through Roll20 in Discord right now, which is a new experience for us. See, that's how you do it. We quite often had a webcam guy, but we just pointed the camera on the map on the table. If I didn't know better, I'd say this was all Dragon under another name, because that's exactly what he does on Twitch. That's exactly what he does.
Right.
Let's see. So, yeah, you guys do a great show, and I'd like to add to it. Again, I really hope this finds you all in good health. Take care, DM Randy. Okay, Randy. When this comes out, this will come out soon. As a matter of fact, I'm going to reply to his email while we're discussing things and doing our topics. And
I'll make a decision. Talk to my secretary, Brian.
Hey, I want a raise, damn it. Anyway, Okay. So, yeah, I'm like I said, I'm just standing here. I'm listening. I'm reading this email and reading it out loud. I'm like, where do you have the time to do all of this?
Online, even online, that's not much of an excuse because even online, people are still working.
Oh, I agree with you.
Find the time to sit down at a computer to do it too. You got to find time for that.
Wow. I mean, just hats off to you, Randy. I mean, geez.
He must have one of those work at home jobs that he could do anywhere.
Or
which
he's
I'm
retired or hit the lottery or something. Because, yeah, I can't even now, even if I hit the lottery tomorrow, I can't even think of even doing half the crap he's doing. I just can't. Not with a 5-year-old running around. Oh, man. But anyway, okay. Enough of that. Let me compose myself because I'm just like, you're doing what? You're doing what with who? What? Where? How much? What? I mean, I'm like knee deep in question marks right now.
I hear you.
All right. So yes, I'm going to respond to his email either during the show or after the show and be like, hey, if you want to do this, this is when we gather together, and we'll have you on, and if you do well enough, yeah, you can be a regular if you want. I would love to have someone to take a little bit of the burden off.
I wish we could get the three of us together in a room and just do have people run short scenarios for us at a table and film it, and basically it'd be D&D Idol.
Well, I guess I'm Randy Jackson.
Yeah.
Who's gonna be Simon Cowell? Fallon's gonna have to be Simon Cowell out of this bunch.
Yeah, I guess so.
Man.
But yeah, the D&D Idol, that'd be something. And just make it a competition. We lose a few every week, and
Exactly. Yeah, and then I guess the one who wins is an official co-host for like 6 months or something.
Because they already got Iron GM, so.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, jeez. Wow,
I made them a title card and everything, and they didn't even use it.
No, that's unfortunate.
It was that guy.
We could totally do the mass GM.
The mass
GM. Yeah. It's take off the hood. It's Matt Mercer. Kick the bum out.
Oh yeah. He's disqualified. Get him out of here.
Yeah.
Yeah. We don't serve their kind here.
Who's the other guy? Joe Mantelino out.
Oh, hey, I'll take Manganello. Vin Diesel, absolutely.
I would too.
Yeah,
but he'd have to play old school with me.
Oh yeah, no 5th edition stuff here. Mm-hmm.
No 5 crap here. You're going to be playing at least 1st edition, if not 2nd. Yep. I'll make it another word, and I'll make it play basic.
Oh, speaking of that, Glenn, let me bring this up while you just mentioned that. I was reading a little thing in the Beckme group on Facebook, and somebody was talking about how he thought that Beckme was brutal, and I was like, yeah, and you've got to be very, very good and very, very lucky to get to certain levels. And
what's your point?
Well, he's more along the lines of, he's thinking, first level characters should have their con as their hit points. I'm like, nope. Sorry, sir. I said, there's a reason why. Yes, first, Beckme is very difficult. BX is very difficult. You have to really be good and really, really lucky to get to 3rd or 4th level. That's just how the game is constructed.
For starting out, I'd let them have their con as their hit points. You
really?
have 18 con, you have 18 hit points. That ain't much.
That's a lot. That's a lot. Considering the most they can, when you think about it, when it comes to fighters, the most they can have is 13. I get what you're saying, but I don't like the fact of having first level mages running around with 14 or 15 hit points at first level. That just sticks in my craw. Because
it doesn't bother me at all.
They probably won't because they probably wouldn't, because in a system like that where you're cold rolling probably a straight 3d6, the likelihood of those numbers existing are low in the first place, even if you get to place them in order. So when you're talking old school hardcore, roll them in the order that they come and make a character from what you get. Hey, Constitution wouldn't be a horrible idea. But again, you still got the differences between. That's why you have the con modifier. That's why you have the class hit dice, and you see what you get from that. But speaking from experience with the fun things that have happened in other circumstances, like when I cold started and dropped the 10-point kicker, the 20-point kicker into my campaign without telling the party members I did it to them or the monsters. It in the middle of the fight, just the epic shock on their faces, and then the desperation that they started turning things up a notch and turning things up another notch just to try to get through the fight alive, not knowing why they were still alive, and still trying to kill the enemy that wouldn't go down. They raised their gameplay a notch, and it was worth it.
But yeah, that's a little bit different. That's something you just incorporate into the game without their knowledge. Of course, they would find out at some point.
I don't points equaling their con, because after you play Gamma World as long as I did, and in Gamma World you get a hit die for every point in your Constitution.
Oh my God!
Yes.
Man,
you know what? And well, see, it's justified in that game. You know why?
Oh, yeah, because
see the monsters hit dice?
Yes, I have. Huge. Yes, I have. You have a point.
Huge. I mean, and Mutant Future's the same way. Oh, I've got 18 hit dice worth of hit points. Fine. The monster's got like 30.
Yep. You know? So combat takes a while.
so to me, it's like con equals hit points. It doesn't really faze me.
Right.
It's like, I know how to kill you regardless.
Right. My whole thing is that it negates some of the disadvantages that some of the classes have, like with thieves and with those weren't the only changes he was going to make. And I basically said to him, I said, look, you are setting yourself up for headaches down the road, because he's not only like hit points as con as hit points, then you're going to add the class hit points on top of that.
Right.
And I'm just like, it's at that point, why aren't you just running revised edition D20 Star Wars? Why don't you run that? But
hey now,
no,
the Vitality Wound Point system.
I'm not.
The Vitality Wound Point system has a place as well, and it actually, when you wrap your head around it and understand the notional nature of hit points versus, how many hit dice of hit points you have and how many hit points you've acquired, into the specter of, well, this is how much you are able to stay alive, and this is how much damage you can take. It works well, and it is very understandable, and it brings a level of threat to the game again, which again is missing in a lot of Snowflake understandings of gameplay, because Snowflakes with trophy for everyone mentality and OMG, level up, XP boost, war hamsters running around everywhere. They don't understand. Yeah, you can die, there's not a respawn, and eat it. Sometimes that's a necessary lesson to understand that there are threats that need to be overcome, and having a fight with the last party member standing, looking around at the smoking battlefield, covered in wounds, saying, 1 hit point left. Okay, let me find someone to bind wounds on so I'm not alone before the next monster comes. That's a thing that needs to happen in some people's lives.
No, I agree with you. And the funny part is, I did play a 2nd edition game where the DM adopted that, but that was also like extreme high level play, and there was reasoning behind it, and not only that, it was an evil campaign where I was the only one who was not evilly aligned and trying to screw over my compatriots, and basically sat back and watched it happen. So, yeah, I get that, and it does work, but at the same time, it's like for second edition, I can understand it, especially if you're going up into like really high level stuff. But when it's like something like Beckme, when you have to step things up in a certain way to even give the players a even chance, just to cut them an even break, it's like, yeah, that I can watching a first level mage running around with 12 or 13 hit points as opposed to 4, 5, or 6, that bothers me because now all of a sudden that player is not going to play is going to try to play the mage as a squishy tank, if you will.
You're just too indoctrinated into having low hit points for squishy wizards.
Okay, yes, I am. You want to know why? Because if they play that wizard correctly and they start becoming a problem because of the spells they can cast starting at 5th level, yeah, it's like, no, they don't. I don't want them to have the hit points on top of that. They have to be able to do the exact opposite of what the fighter in the plate armor is doing.
Well, you're talking 4th, 5th level here. Okay, I was talking 1st.
I know, but I'm thinking
18 hit points in one spell. That's okay with me.
Oh man. Okay. Fair enough. I mean, I'll agree to disagree, but I'll concede your point. I understand where you're coming from. Okay. Hold on.
And think of the other difficulties that mage has to deal with if for some mystical chance of fate they've ended up with an 18 con and they're a wizard.
Yeah, that would be kind of funny.
So he's probably, he's chugging along with his 6 intelligence and 5 wisdom. He can cast a spell maybe with a chance of failure. What is it? It's a 10 minimum to be able to cast spells, right? Or 9. 9 is the minimum.
9. Yeah. It's qualify for the class.
So qualify for the class. He's got minimum qualifying, stats for a class, and he's got a outlier stat or 2. And that's fine. That's fun. That's playing against the type. There's the weak fighter. How do you do that? Are you the dexterous fighter? Maybe you're the clumsy and weak fighter, but you fight dirty. Okay, it works if you do it right. So, and I've done the half ogre mage. I'm Mungo. I beat it with my staff, and then cast spells at it.
He gets the order wrong,
or something like that. Yeah.
Okay, let's we've spent enough time on these topics. I'm sorry I even brought it up because we have a show to do. We've already been recording for well over an hour.
Just THACOshammer@gmail.com if you want to send us a fun email like that.
Get us to devolve into arguments and full on playing devil's advocate as always.
We have a phone number, but I'm not telling you.
405-806-0555.
Shh, don't tell them.
Well, you gotta know.
They're gonna have to earn it.
Well, after 10 years, okay.
And we still exist on d20radio.com.
Yes,
Forums and Index.
Yes, we do. Wow. Yes, we do. OSRgaming.org, dragonfoot.org, dragonsfoot.org. Let me get that right. The piazza.uk. We're on a bunch of different things. You realize, did you see the Stroll and Citadel change their thing completely? I can't even use it now.
Wow.
Yeah, we used to be on there, but they changed their entire website and domain, and I can't find our little niche in it. So if you were using Stroll and Citadel to keep abreast of what was going on with THACO's Hammer, I apologize.
Where are we on like Dragon's Foot?
I put them in the 2nd edition AD&D sub forum.
Oh, okay. I thought you said they were replaying our shows for some reason.
Oh, no. I basically just post I post the show notes in a bunch of different places, on Facebook, on Tumblr, on I also put stuff on Twitter. We have a social media presence.
So if you want to hear us, folks, just get a shovel, dig around, in the internet.
Just all you gotta do is type in THACO's hammer. That's with an O, not a zero.
Make sure you got your hip boots on too. It gets kind of thick over the dragon split.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah.
Don't get sucked into any arguments.
Let's move on to Magic Fingers.
The White Wizard approaches.
There's no such thing as magic.
You always were the better magician. Who does know that? But whatever your secret was, you have to agree. Magic's better.
Magic Fingers.
Magic Fingers, Mordenkainen's Encompassing Vision.
Yes.
The Complete Wizard's Handbook, pages 593 to 594. I didn't see it on my digital copy because I have a crappy copy.
Yeah, it's volume 3. And
I found one times on there, but I think what I had was like a first draft of it or something.
Mm-hmm. Yes, yeah, I had that too until I bought my copies from Drive-Thru. You know,
I got copies in the garage. I haven't dug them out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, mine are all my D&D stuff is buried in my bedroom closet because you know, I don't want to drag it out now because hopefully I'll be moving within a year. So yeah, I just rely on all my electronic stuff. Anyway,
moving out of state or
no, just probably moving to probably gonna try and get a house. Probably sometime next year. About this time next year.
Anyway, Mordenkainen's
Encompassing Vision, yes. This is the lowest level spell I was able to find that Mordenkainen did. I'm trying to remember who played Mordenkainen. Was it Gary? I don't think it was. Or was it? I cannot remember for the life of me. And it was either like Jim Ward or like no, it wasn't Frank Venser. It was one of those old school guys, one of the OGs who played Mordenkainen. And of course, he's had spells in the player's handbooks over the years, and there have been more spells that have come out in Dragon Magazine and also the player's option.
Yeah, his module Mordenkainen's Fantastic Adventure.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Which is strange seeing a Greyhawk module in my collection.
There actually were really good Greyhawk modules, to be honest. There are a couple that I wanted to do. I wanted to run, but it's like I just can't justify it because it's really high level. It's that 5 shall be 1. It's basically D&D does Voltron. You know, that kind of thing, because you get like these magical swords, and they're colored, and it's like yellow, blue, red, green, and black. Yeah, they took straight from Voltron with this, and then you have to like stop an oncoming army or something like that. But anyway, Mordenkainen's Encompassing Vision. This is an alteration spell, 2nd level. Let's see, range is touch. Components are verbal, somatic, and material. Casting time is 1 round. Duration 1 hour per level. Area of effect is the creature touched with no saving throw. The spell grants the creature full 360 degrees of vision, so the creature can see to the sides and rear as well as sees to its front. The creature cannot be surprised from the rear by any attacker that the creature can see normally. This spell works in combination with any sort of enhanced or magical vision, including infravision, ultravision, or X-ray vision. A creature with both detect invisibility and encompassing vision can see invisible, ethereal, or astral beings to its flank and rear as well. The person affected by this spell also has a -2 penalty on all saving throws versus gaze attacks, obviously.
Oh.
Yeah, this is sort of, I think this is sort of like a spell version of the Robe of Eyes, because the Robe of Eyes does the exact same thing.
I was thinking more like it turns you to that He-Man villain.
What's his name? Oh, goodness. I can't remember his name.
The thing with he had eyes, you know, in a ring.
Mm-hmm.
On his head, I can't remember his name. 4 Eyes or something like that.
Yes.
Anyway.
Triclops. Yeah, very good job, Full-On. I could not remember that name for the life of me.
Just like happened in the new Will Smith movie, Spies in Disguise. Wait a minute, I can see you and I can see my butt at the same time.
Yeah, exactly. The benefits spell are obvious. If you are a wizard and you don't want to be backstabbed or surprise attacked from any direction, pretty much, yeah, this spell is very much worth its weight in gold.
Just spell it before you get to the basilisk.
Oh God!
Oh, it's got to suck if someone throws a prismatic spray at you, though.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That would be bad. That would definitely be
Medusa,
bad.
no, you go in.
Hmm?
Medusa, no, you go in.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep. Basilisk, I'll wait out here.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not going in. I'm not going in there when I have this spell. No, thank you. So yeah, yeah. So for at least I'm gonna say for the next several episodes, we're going to be doing a Mordenkainen spell because there are a lot. I mean, I'm going through the list right now. As a matter of fact, there's one I'll be doing the next episode called Mordenkainen's Protection from Avians, which is very interesting. Yeah, yeah.
I think he had a problem with harpies and griffins.
Yeah, birds in general. he must have not liked that movie very much. Because yeah, I mean, I'm looking through, and all these spells are very useful, and yeah, we'll be going through each one of them because I think there are at least like a dozen in here. So we'll be going through them by level. Although I kind of messed up, but I'll fix that come Splatbook 163 when we get together and do that. So sure. Yeah, most of these spells are protective. A couple of them have offensive, like Mordenkainen's Sword, of course. There are a couple in here that are really interesting, like Mordenkainen's Involuntary Wizardry, which is very interesting. Basically, you take spells from another wizard's mind, which, I find that very interesting. So yeah, we'll be covering all of these.
Okay.
So
sounds good.
Yeah. So, there we go.
So,
what's up?
Yeah. So this is basically, use it until you go blind, I guess.
And if your DM is always throwing the invisible threat at you, this is a useful spell. If he's always throwing the backstab at you, it's a useful spell.
Yes.
If he's always throwing these sneaky people at you, it's a useful spell. If he starts throwing the cockatrice and the basilisk and the Medusa at you, you're boned because he's tired of the spell.
Exactly.
Go on to something else.
This spell, I'm pretty sure it was made because more like either I don't know when it was made. I know it was put in the World of Greyhawk box set. I think that's where it comes from. And so if it's a World of Greyhawk spell, that automatically harkens back to the early days of AD&D and Advanced D&D when Gary was throwing things at their players, and apparently whoever was running Mordenkainen, and you know what, I really should just do a little internet search to figure out who did run Mordenkainen.
And what the first appearance of the spell was, because it smells to me, I mean, a spell like this is going to come of one of three sources. It's either going to be a plot device, so it is the MacGuffin in an adventure that somebody needs for whatever is an obstacle in the adventure that is not normally in the spell books of everybody else. It is a player-based creation of the DM is screwing with me too much, and I want a thing that makes me able to screw back.
Yeah.
Or it's going to be a creation of the DM to just make available for general game play, which usually is not the way these things go. I mean, this sounds like the kind of thing that would be a player creation or a plot device creation for a MacGuffin or whatever is needed to move the plot along or protect you from the hazard that the plot is leading you towards. So you're going somewhere where you're going to get boned by the sneak attacks. You're going somewhere where you're going to get boned by the invisible assailants or observers or spies or whatever. And then, just to make it, a extra wrinkle, expect you're going to go somewhere where there's gaze attacks after the fact, when you thought you're all happy and protected, and you've now made yourself more vulnerable to getting reboned by the GM.
Right. Well, as it turns out, because thank Wikipedia for it, this was one of Gary's characters, and
it was.
Yeah, and he, and I knew if it wasn't that, it was one of the other players. I just couldn't remember off the top of my head, but yeah. So he was like Greyhawk's version of Elminster. So, a lot of the spells that came in there, like him, Mordenkainen, Bigby, Leomund, Tensor, yes, Tensor, exactly. Actually, I think most of those were all characters.
Yeah, all of the named spells from original D&D are based on Greyhawkian gameplay spells.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And they're all tied to those named wizards of the Wizards 3 or 5 or however many they are when they sit down and have coffee together.
Yes, the Wizards 3. Yeah, it was Elminster, Mordenkainen, and Dalamar.
Wrestling. Yeah.
Who knows which game world came first? Because Greenwood says that he's been doing Forgotten Realms since 1968. Before he even knew about D&D, he was writing about that world, Toril.
He was doing author stuff. So yeah.
Yeah. So basically Mordenkainen was made more or less right around 1972. If this was if the information here is anywhere close to correct.
Okay.
And it was basically, he made Mordenkainen because he was tired of DMing so much. He asked Rob Kuntz to be co-dungeon master, which would allow him to play the game as a player. So he created several characters in 1973, and that's when Mordenkainen got his start. So yeah.
Right.
And let's see, I think at last stat block I saw, I think Mordenkainen was 27th level or 28th, something like that, or 29th.
What's the duration of the spell again?
1 hour per level.
1 round. Yeah, 1 hour per level.
Not bad.
Yeah.
And it's what level spell? What level spell?
Second.
So you're looking at maybe third or fourth level. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 3 hours, 4 hours at the very least.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Good duration.
Yeah,
that will let you make a foray into a complex, an adventure hook, or an objective without melting your brain.
Yeah, a thieves or assassins guild for sure.
Yeah, it's great. It's like no flank me.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, my armor class is the same all around. Deal. Let's see. The material component is a crystal disc with 8 eyes inscribed upon it, spaced at 45-degree intervals around the edge of the disc. So, yeah, that's a very interesting spell component, but it makes perfect sense. I would say.
And you wear the eye of Dormammu around your neck.
Hey, I love Doctor Strange. That was a great movie. That was a fantastic movie.
But I never wanted to be the horary host of THACO.
Exactly.
It just sounds disgusting. It just
Yeah, he came up with some rather interesting exclamations back in the 70s. Somebody was on some really good drugs, I think, when they created him.
Oh, yeah. Anyway, we'll find the Complete Wizard's Handbook, right?
Yep, Volume 3.
Or the Complete Wizard's Spellbook.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, which is like a web thing which has every spell ever created for D&D.
The ones I stole, but...
Shh!
Well, that's the way it goes. But I figured Encyclopedia Magica at least hang out of that. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. You can buy the electronic copies at Drive-Thru RPG for, I think, $10 a piece. Go ahead.
Yeah, the other two are great if you're running 2E exclusive, but, Encyclopedia Magica has, use far beyond.
Oh, yeah. Without a doubt. Without a doubt. Anyway. You can use that to affect almost any other game system you want to.
Oh, yes. Anyway, THACOshammer@gmail.com. Let's go on to a snipe hunt.
Two fools who laugh at death. Do you know what horrors lie beyond that wall?
No.
Then you go first.
This world's divided into two kinds of people, the hunter and the hunted. Luckily, I'm a hunter. Nothing can ever change that.
If it bleeds, we can kill it.
I'll swallow your soul!
Come get some.
Time for a snipe.
Snipe hunt. Gelatinous cube.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
Before Drano, before Liquid Plumber, there was Gelatinous Cube.
Before the Zamboni, yes.
Before Zamboni. It's a dungeon Zamboni, that's what it is.
Exactly.
Little goblin with a saddle on it riding on the top.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's the cleaners.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, it's basically, that's exactly what it is. It's basically a cleaning. That's what something a wizard would do for a dungeon that he didn't want to. Let's say if Felix Unger was a wizard, he would use gelatinous cubes to keep his dungeon clean.
No, that's if Oscar Madison was a wizard. He wouldn't bother wanting to go down there.
Yeah, no kidding. Jeez.
Okay. Yeah, when I first saw the movie Labyrinth, I put the cleaners into my dungeon. Mm-hmm. If I didn't have a gelatinous cubes, I had the cleaners.
Okay, gelatinous cube. Climate terrain is subterranean. Frequency uncommon. Organization solitary. Diet is omnivore. Of course it is. Of course it is.
Is this one of those things where a wizard purposely created this thing?
Yes, I think so.
It varies between a wizard's alchemical or aberrant creation or something that just is a thing that escaped from one of the slime dimensions. When you start dealing with those oozy deities, it falls into that kind of category.
Did it.
Yeah.
And they got away and figured out how to reproduce.
Well, I don't even know. Well, the thing is, they have no intelligence. That's all they do is just go around in cavern complexes and just going along and just picking up whatever's on the floor and eating it. You know, and whatever's not eating, whatever they can't digest is just floating there in the middle of it. You know, which is weird. I mean, they're transparent. Now, let me ask you guys a question, because I'm a little confused on this. Were gelatinous cubes always transparent?
Yes.
I mean, going all the way back.
Difficult.
Going all the way back.
They've always been incredibly difficult to see, and it's even in a lit dungeon. Mm-hmm. It is possible to not pay attention and walk into one.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And in a dark dungeon or a cave complex, it's even more horrifying.
Yeah.
Plus, they even though they lack the ability in most GM's worlds, the ability to climb effectively or even go uphill well, they end up often down at the bottom of pits, so that you fall into the pit and the pit cleans itself. Or if they're not sweeping the lower dungeon corridors in general, things like that happen.
Mm-hmm.
It is possible to use magic and sorcery to do things like to awaken something. Someone go mad after they suffer a polymorph spell.
I will let you sit here.
You can polymorph them into a gelatinous cube, and as long as they're making their saves, they're an intelligent one. But once they fail their saves, they become a gelatinous cube. All hail the Droblins. You can have, you can use shape change to turn into one if, say, a dragon wanted to clean up their own dungeon complex without dirtying their claws. Shape change into a gelatinous cube, hoover up the entire dungeon, gobble it all up, dump all the coinage back in the treasure pile, and resume form. There's ways it can be used.
This is the point where the Odiugs go on strike.
Well, all the Odiugs want is waste. The gelatinous cubes will literally eat anything.
But
go ahead.
Or eating their waste. But yeah.
Now, see,
I played when Matt ran his Rule Cyclopedia game. He ran the Quest for the Silver Sword. I managed to turn a corner face plant into a gelatinous cube. It was right there.
Yeah.
Let me also specify for people's interest, the gelatinous cube has made a recent 2020 public appearance in grand open media for everyone else There's one that appears in Onward, the Pixar movie.
Oh, good.
Go get your gamer feels on and go watch Onward. They actually have a gelatinous cube encounter. Wow. It's awesome.
Cool.
Wow.
Okay, well, let's see. Let me do the description here. So nearly transparent, they are difficult to see. These cubes travel down dungeon corridors, absorbing carry-on and trash along the way. Their sides glisten, tending to leave a slimy trail, but the gelatinous cubes cannot climb walls or cling to ceilings. That's what it says here, Falon, but I take your point.
I know.
Very large...
That's why you...
Go ahead.
If you're a smart game master and you want to do things to improve the quality of your dungeon, you can cast spider climb and permanency on your gelatinous cube. You can cast fly and permanency on your gelatinous cube. If you're a neat freak or evil or just...
Or both.
Yes.
Yeah.
I saw on Facebook in one of the old school groups, somebody told about his young daughter or son or whoever, they were like 12, 13, who'd been playing D&D since they were, knee-high to a grasshopper with him, wanting to DM for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
They came up with, I love children because they come up with the damnedest things.
Yes, they do.
And this kid had a dungeon where it had a gelatinous cube that gave birth to baby gelatinous cubes.
Yep.
Yes.
And it's like, stealing that.
It's high school science. We have a creature that reproduces by budding.
Yes,
fission and budding.
Yes.
Yeah, I figured that's the way it did.
I'm looking at the Habitat and Society, and it says that the creature reproduces by budding, leaving clear rubbery cubes in dark corners or on heaps of trash. And then they're left to fend for themselves. And even they're reabsorbed by the parent sometimes. Isn't that crazy? Isn't that funny?
Now, if you really want to have fun with them and you don't want to waste permanency spells and con points on casting spells on your pet gelatinous cube, you can also have the ones that are wandering the dungeon as they devour dead people and encountered monsters and adventurers.
Yep.
Say you happen to eat something wearing a ring of levitation, and it's still making its saves versus acid and hasn't broken down yet. Now you have a levitating gelatinous cube.
Stop.
In this quarter,
or a ring of invisibility, or a gelatinous cube of elven kind. Yes.
Oh my
awesome.
Goodness. Oh my goodness.
If in this corner, a levitating gelatinous cube. In this corner, a beholder. Go.
Oh my goodness. Stop. Okay. All right.
Love Wars 2, yes.
Oh my goodness. You guys are crazy. Okay, so
you haven't heard crazy yet. I have crazy for you.
I know. I'm shuddering in fear over here. Okay, so these things have armor class of 8, movement rate of 6, 4 hit dice, 1 attack, THACO 17, 2 to 8 points of damage, and you have to save versus paralyze or be paralyzed for 5 to 20 rounds. That's enough for it to envelop you and start to digest you. So yes, everyone talks about how they got swallowed whole by a dragon or a behir or something else, or a purple worm and they had to cut their way out. Yeah, your companions are going to have to save you.
It's just like the black pudding, the blob. You get eaten by the blob. You fight your way out, or have people fight their way in, or you're going to get digested.
Yep. Now, because they're so difficult to see, everything they put a -3 penalty on everyone's surprise roll. -3, which is pretty suggestive.
I've heard stories. I've seen modules and things like that where like the party's going down the hall there, and they see what they think is a skeleton, but it's in armor and weapon. It's moving weird though, but it's kind of like, and it's a skeleton in a gelatinous cube.
Yeah.
Yes,
yeah.
Happens all the time. It's a excellent way to introduce them, other than falling onto one from a pitfall.
Yeah. You fall for 20 feet, but you take no damage. Why? You hit something spongy. Oh, by the way, you need to make a saving throw. For what? Versus paralyzation.
Paralysis.
Yeah, for paralysis. as you see, and even if you make your save, you see parts of something coming up and looking like they're going to envelop you. What do you do?
Oh, wow.
What do you do?
You're in the bottom of a 20 by 20 pit, and you're just playing Tetris, running corners and corners and corners around from the cube that's chasing you around the room at the bottom of the pit with your broken leg until it catches you.
Yeah.
You fail your con save and can't run anymore. That's if the DM is cruel and doesn't make, the cube fits at the bottom of the 10-foot pit. If the pit's bigger than 10 foot, then yeah.
Then all of a sudden you fall, you hit the floor, you take this damage. Let's see. Oh, your leg's broken? Oh, that's too bad. You hear this rather slimy sucking sound. Yes, scraping / sucking sound, and you're like, you see a skeleton, and it's moving really, really strange, and it's approaching you slowly. What do you do?
Exactly.
Another fun thing would be to use the psionic power awaken on one. Then you can have a conversation with it.
Oh, wow.
How can you do that? What does that do?
There's a psionic power that can you use some of your PSP points, and you can make intelligent items, or you can make mundane creatures, unintelligent creatures, intelligent.
Really?
Yes.
Wow. Now, see,
that is one of the methods. That is one of the methods of getting the intelligent animal meme going around.
Ooh, I like that.
Psionists can do that. Why not do it to the Dungeon Aberrations?
You ever seen that web comic Rusty and Friends?
No, I've not.
It's about 3 D&D monsters who decide to want to become adventurers.
Oh, that's right. One of them is a rust monster.
One of them's a rust monster. One of them's a mimic. And one of them is a gelatinous cube.
Oh, that's hilarious. That's right. And yes, I have seen this.
Eric seems to be the brains of the outfit. He says, "Oh, he learned real early. Never tell the gelatinous cube to go get the horses."
All you see are just bones.
There's a skeleton horse floating inside of it.
That's hilarious.
That time I got reincarnated as a slime is a popular current 2019 style anime, and it has another take on it. Yes,
I believe that. Yeah, I believe that. Let's not go down that road, please.
All right. I think there was a grim tooth trap at the gelatinous cube in the middle. It's a pit with the
There's several of them
in the middle of it.
Mm-hmm.
And you go through the gelatinous cube.
Yeah, I don't doubt it for a minute. It's Grimtooth. Of course, the trap is going to be evil, and it's going to probably result in the death of a character. Yes.
Or a trap that has a gelatinous cube embedded in a socket in the wall that releases it after you fall into the pit, so that it comes out and drops on top of you.
For those evil mages who are really fastidious. Yes.
That beats my Sturge trap.
Oh my goodness gracious! Y'all just crazy.
Anyway, tell us about.
Makes it so that people at the top of the pit can't throw the ropes down to you to pull you out from on top of the cube because you're now under the cube.
Yeah,
you've got to go through it.
I eat my way out. Yeah. Yeah, remember that.
That would be the gelatinous cube from the that's a different module, but yes, that happens too.
Yes, it does. Oh my goodness.
Anyway, tell us about it, folks. You want to talk about it? THACO Samurai.
So there I was in the Night Below campaign, running it on my cavernous trip between book 1 and book 2 down into the Underdark.
Mm-hmm.
And as they were doing a cliffside descent, rappelling their way carefully down about a quarter mile of Underdark cavern wall,
mm-hmm.
in the dark with some light sources, they start hearing this sound from above them,
mm-hmm.
and the party starts getting concerned, and they start to scatter their way left, and they scatter their way right, swinging from the ropes and grabbing onto the sidewalls, except for the one fighter who's stuck right in the middle and can't move and maneuver, and they don't know what's about to happen until, and this is on like a 60-degree downhill slope, a gelatinous cube charges from above and just shoots straight down the slope that they've been descending, and bull rushes the fighter, hits him with a nat 20, and carries him to the bottom of the descent that they were on, which was about another 500 feet.
Wow.
You know, this reminds me of an earlier episode where I think it was this show, The Caverns, that we did. No, that was Save or Die. I did Caverns of Thracian or whatever it was.
Mm-hmm.
But Julie Hoverson was a guest on there at the time.
Uh-huh.
And when it said, at the beginning they had some box text that said these one NPCs, and it mentioned the gelatinous cube, they were trapped or whatever. It says gelatinous cube bearing down on them quickly. And Julie and I could not stop laughing at that. How does the gelatinous cube bear down on someone quickly?
Downhill.
Gravity.
Yep.
Yeah.
It works. It works well. And it was like a Wile E. Coyote Looney Tunes moment when he just got swept off away from the party down to the bottom. Gelatinous Cube died on impact. Party member didn't. Barely. But they had to get to him before he ran out of negative hit points.
He slided me.
Exactly.
Basically.
Yeah. Anyway, let us go on to Tomes of Legend.
In a world where adventurers do not follow the rule of burn all the books, you will find Tomes of Legend.
Tomes of Legend. By the way, am I going to hear a bumper on this?
You said you were going to make it.
I thought you said you were going to make it.
I never said I was going to make it.
Well, I better make one for you because this one's your edit. So
Okay,
I better
yeah.
get on it.
Would you please? Oh, wait a minute. Did
It's available in the last episode. I recorded it for you guys. It's there.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, Full On did the voiceover. That's right. Okay. Yeah.
Oh,
that's
you
right.
got
Recorded and present.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I've got to pull that
from the episode. You're good.
Yeah, I'll pull that and I'll send it to you, Glenn.
No, you make it. Go.
Oh, all right. Fine. Done.
Well, I mean, if
Okay.
you can't,
I
fine.
can do it.
just-
No, I can do it. I can do it. Just I didn't know if I was supposed to.
You know.
Okay.
Okay.
Done and done. I'll take care of it.
About the Icewind Dale trilogy, the infamous trilogy that started a whole bunch of Drizzt crap.
Now, see.
That's all 15 books in the trilogy.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's true.
Let's see how many trilogies there were.
Well, let's see. There was the Icewind Dale trilogy, which led to the Dark Elf trilogy. That's another 3 books. Then there was the Mithril Hall trilogy. That was another 3. Then from there, I'm a little fuzzy on it, but I think from there that was a Spine of the World one.
Yep, Spine of the World.
Yeah, where all kinds of
1,000 orcs.
Yeah, PTSD. Yeah, that led to 1,000 orcs, and then right then that's 12 books right there, or excuse me.
Then they got the other 5 books of the Resurrection after they go to the Iron Dwarf.
Yep, and then they just did, I think, the last one. Apparently, it's the last one he's doing. But I'm not 100% sure about it because I stopped reading it after he teased and teased and teased the romantic relationship that every Drizzt fan wanted, and then he just yanked that carrot right out of reach and out of vision.
Yeah. What do they call it?
Revisit it. Yes, he violates the bro code. Sorry, Wolfgar.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, yeah, for sure. But yeah, so anyway, so we're going to talk about the first one.
Premature eject? No.
None of that. None of that. No, that doesn't. Apparently, that doesn't exist on Terrell.
like any bad lover, he pulls out. Anyway.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so the first book in the trilogy is, of course, the Crystal Shard, which is more or less a setup for everything to come afterwards. See. This is where you first encounter Drizzt, and he's like a scout for 10 towns, which is in Icewind Dale, which is far to the north. It's like a couple of months' journey north of Waterdeep. And
north of Neverwinter.
Yes, north of Neverwinter, exactly, just
Yeah.
further north. And it's basically just a frozen. It's basically frozen tundra up there, and you get to see him. He's basically a scout for this town who barely accept him because he's a dark elf. Even though he's better than most of the people he's working for, to be honest. And so then you meet Brunor, the dwarf, Regis the halfling, Brunor's adopted daughter, Caddy Bree. And then Ten Towns gets invaded by barbarians. That's where you meet Wolfgar, because he was the son of the former chief, who basically Brunor knocks the kid unconscious with one shot, and takes him as his own. And so this is the whole thing that sets it up.
Yes. Welcome to the Forgotten Realms world of Days of Our Lives. Soap opera for the Dungeons and Dragons fetishists.
No, that's including anything with Elminster. Oh, did I say that? Yeah, I did. Anyway, so yeah, you also find out about Krishinabon, which is the crystal shard, a magic sentient crystal, which gives power to its wielder, but ends up possesses the wielder over time. So yeah,
I got very Krull vibes from the Krishinabon crystal.
Yeah,
also,
you know what?
Of course, the Conan Crystal Tower villain wizard from Conan the Destroyer.
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
Which was a merging of like 3 different Conan stories into one, but it was good. It had its roots in other literary sources of inspiration, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. This was Rob Salvatore's first novel for TSR, so a lot of his influences were shown, and of course, with the D&D rule set overlay over it, he was one of the first authors that didn't make me feel like I was hearing dice rolling in the background while things were happening, especially combat.
Well,
which I thought was awesome, because that's one of the things that I didn't like too much about Gary Gygax when he wrote Gord the Rogue. You could hear the dice rolling in the background most of the time.
There is a much better feel for the flow of combat when you listen and hear and see the descriptions of Salvatore's style of combat fighting, especially when he's dealing with Drizzt. But anywhere in general through his campaign of books, he's got good, well thought out, not too over the top game breaking mechanics in play.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, let's see. The problem was when they did the first Hall of Heroes supplement, and they actually put stat blocks for all these characters, and of course, you couldn't 100% create a character that mirrored Drizzt. You came close. You were like one half step behind it, and it was the same thing for Wolfgar, because he had a natural 19 strength. I mean, the most normal ones were Caddy, Bree, and Brunor, and of course Regis. but but that's to be expected when it comes to the main heroes in a lot of fantasy novels. They just do things that, especially under the TSR umbrella, that can't quite be emulated in D&D. Between this and Unearthed Arcana, which came out 3 years before this before this novel came out, this started the Drow PC craze, and you were either on one you were on one side or the other. You absolutely hated this idea, or you were in love with this idea. And I've had Drow player characters. It's no big deal the way I do it. As a DM, I tell my players, look, if you're going to play a Drow, you have to understand that you're going to be hated on sight, and elves are going to try to kill you on sight because they don't know that you're actually a decent person underneath your reputation, your racial reputation. And I know a little something about that, but I'll leave that alone. But anyway, to continue with the story, Wolfgar's indenture to Brunor. At the end of that indenture servitude, it was like 5 years, I think. Brunor forged a magical warhammer for him. The thing is extremely powerful, I mean, it's like taking a giant Slayer, taking Hammer of Thunderbolts, removing the thunder part of it, and upping the damage. you know. Um, then Drizzt and Wolfgar, and then they became friends. Drizzt taught Wolfgar truly how to fight because, as a barbarian, it's like I swing at it and I kill it. There was no tactics to what he was doing. So Drizzt taught him how to fight, and then they started going on adventures around the tundra, and they went after an ancient white dragon in its lair. Just Drizzt and Wolfgar and Guinevere, which is the magical Black Panther companion, which is in figurine of wondrous power. The thing's massive. It's got like 10 hit dice and stuff like that.
Wow.
So while all that's doing, Drizzt gets a magical scimitar, a Frostbrand scimitar, and then a war starts because the person that is possessed by the crystal shard assembles an army and is going to just try to take over 10 towns. And
I am doing the evil wizard trope. All of them, yes.
Yeah,
in
exactly.
my magical tower that was made magically.
Yes.
It won't possibly come undone in the midst of my plans.
Mm-hmm.
Never.
Exactly. So, yeah. As this battle's going on, Wolfgar takes over his tribe because the chief was not going to come to 10 Towns' aid. So he ended up fighting the old chief, killing him, and taking control of the tribe, which actually helps out. And then there is a Balor, or for the old school hats, the Type 6 demon. And
yes, not Walter.
Yeah, not Walter, exactly. So yeah, basically he and Guinevere faced him down. He won, and he banished the demon to the abyss for 100 years. Let's see, and then they went into the Crystal Tower. They started killing the wizard's forces, facing the wizard himself, and it's basically, it turns out that Regis the halfling actually helps in one position, because just like almost every halfling thief, he's a coward. He will not fight straight up, of course. Well, he's a thief, of course not. But he actually helps out in the end, and they basically bury the crystal shard under an avalanche, and that destroys the crystal tower, and the wizard loses control over his forces, and they basically ended up getting killed. And then at the end, Bruenor fakes being mortally injured, and he tricks Drizzt into helping him search for his Mithril Hall, which is his ancestral home. And that's the end of the first
Streams
book.
of Silver.
Yep, and moving right on to Streams of Silver, exactly. So
yes, redoing the trope of Dwarf Kingdom overrun by evil. Take it back because we were kicked out. Yep. It works because it works. It always works.
It always works. Hey, it worked when Tolkien did it, and it's worked every other time after that. It's true.
No one's really taken Mordor back.
Well,
they just keep going in and losing.
Yeah,
like
that's
Undermount.
true. Well, yeah. Well, the problem is the orcs are so entrenched in Mordor that not Mordor, in
Moria.
Yeah, Moria. Thank you. They're so entrenched in Moria, and they've got like trolls and everything else that they would have to like wage like a fourth Middle Earth war in order to clear out Moria. So they just leave it
Which
alone.
would be the Battle of Kragenkor from the Silver Called trilogy and duology.
Wow. See, and this is why I never. This is why I never read
They
Tolkien.
do a military campaign and clear Moria in that, essentially.
So they actually did it. Okay, cool.
It's not it's not Moria, but it is in the series of books that were created that were a direct homage emulation of the Lord of the Rings.
Right. Okay. Cool.
But that's also a good book series.
Okay.
So when was the series published?
The first book was published in 1988.
Okay. So we're talking
the second
late
one, 88. That's just before second edition, actually. because
Okay.
Streams of Silver comes out in 1989, the following year.
Right.
Let's see. It's now now they're going to try to find Mithril Hall. Regis eagerly accompanies them because Artemis Entreri, the master assassin, is sent from Kalimshan to kill him. And of course he doesn't say anything about it until much later.
That's the other trope of your witness protection program has been compromised.
Exactly.
Go.
Exactly. And let's see. Brunor's adopted daughter, Caddy Bree, gets captured by him twice. Not just once, twice. Yes. And he tries to abuse her, and of course Caddy Bree is got a will of iron like a female dwarf would, and basically tells him in no uncertain terms to go to hell, and that earns his respect. So now the wizard from the host tower of the arcane called Dendybar the Modeled, which is like, that's what his skin looks like, because yeah, he might as well be trying to be a lich at this point. He's heard of the Crystal Shard. He thinks Drist has it, so he forges an alliance with the assassin so they can both achieve their goals, and he sends his apprentice with Entreri along with a golem and a soldier named Gierdon. And so now there are two parties, one's following the other and trying to track him, and they're heading towards Silvery Moon. They're encountering barbarian tribes. They encounter the Harple family.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty funny. Let's see. The soldiers of Nesme who want to kill Dritz on sight. They basically force them to go across the Evermoors, which is also known as the Trollmoors, which is a place that you don't want to go because, just like the name implies, it's infested with trolls.
See our previous podcast talking about trolls.
Yes.
Good, bad, indifferent, and the ugly way they're supposed to be run.
Yep. As a matter of fact, when I played in Forgotten Realms, that was one of the things we did. We had to get to Nesme, and we had to cross the Trollmoors, and yeah, we got chased by several thousand of them. Everything that we could do as a party was just to delay their pursuit. Just so we could get to safety. And that's basically what the DM took that straight out of Streams of Silver, by the way. Because this is where I really started getting into Salvatore as a novelist, because the way he described that time where they're crossing the Trollmoors was fantastic. I loved it. It was really good. Because they couldn't kill every troll in the Trollmoors. There were literally hundreds of thousands of them in there. So anyway, so they make it to Silvery Moon, and they're turned away at the gates because Drist is a drow. And so even though Lady Illustrielle, who is one of Mistress Chosen, by the way, and probably one of the kindest out of the Seven Sisters, they direct them to Harold's Holdfast, where they get the clues to the location of Mithril Hall. As Caddy Bree is still captured by Entreri, at first she was terrified of him, but then she finally started to get over that, and she started to play on the volatile relationships between Entreri and his allies, which created an opportunity for her to escape, and she did it, which was very good. Not bad for a 4th level fighter, because that's what she was. So they go into the ancient Dwarven stronghold. Duergar have taken it over, and so now the groups are clashing, and then Entreri and his forces find the heroes, and now they go face to face. And of course, the first time they meet, it's this epic duel that just goes back and forth, and they are evenly matched. Entreri's a little bit stronger than Drist, but Drist is faster than him. And it just keeps going and going and going throughout the whole book.
Princess Bride, battle against the Man in Black.
Yeah, exactly. So, during the battle, a cave-in separates the two groups, but Drist and Entreri are trapped together deep in the complex, and they're forced to work together to get out. And through this entire part of the book, the Salvatore harps on the differences philosophically and morally between Drizzt and Entreri. They're true mirror images of each other. You know, they're almost exact opposites of each other, but they are top of the heap as far as fighting ability goes, because they fight and fight and fight and they can't defeat each other. So yeah, that's just something that is going to be an overarching plot hook throughout the future books until Drizzt and Trey just say, you want to know what? Screw you, we're going our separate ways and we're never going to talk to each other again. Or we're never going to encounter each other again. Well, also there's a reason because of that, because Entreri got old. Entreri started to cheat. Entreri started to use magic items to match Drizzt's ability.
Well, admittedly, Drizzt was already using magic items on top of being, melee mech there, trained, drow combatant survivor plus, anklets of haste, icing death, twinkle, braces, all at the same time. Yeah. So he's got multiple haste magics on him at the same time, footwork, magic weapons, armor, all that good deal. So it's basically, like has always been said, the most lethal thing that you can ever put against a party member of any stripe is another party member.
Absolutely.
An NPC written up in full bore character min-max style beats Ogre Mage Lord any day of the week.
I agree 100%. That's one of the great things I love to do when I run a campaign and the party is somewhere between 7th and 9th level, and they're all of a sudden they're going to start finding out that various other adventuring parties of moral turpitude are going to try to take their stuff. That's what's going to happen. It's a little bit of a ironic twist, but anyway, I digress. Let's see. So, they're forced to work together to escape the Duergar. Although Entreri is directed to capture Regis and return this magic item that he has, which is what gets him the things he wants, this ruby pendant that charms people, more or less. He's trying to get, Entreri's trying to get this pendant back to his master, and so that's why he wants to get the halfling. But Entreri is so challenged by Drizzt's very existence that he uses Guinevere's statue, which he stole from Drizzt, to further bait the drow into following him, so they can once again duel to find out who's the better warrior. He becomes obsessed with Drizzt. Yeah, so while all this is happening, the heroes think that Drizzt is dead because they just don't understand that they just got caved in and they have to get out another way. Bruenor is starting to doubt that he should not have tried to retake Mithril Hall. They find the Hall of Dumathoin, and they get magic items, especially this extremely high-powered longbow that Caddy Bree has.
Talmarilla the Heartseeker.
Yes. Yeah, I think it's like a +4 longbow, and it's like
It's a 50 caliber. It's a multi-shot 50 caliber longbow that just one-shots giants. So, poof.
Yeah, exactly.
It's that kind. We're talking this kind of OMG magic item insert into campaign, which the DM instantly regrets and goes, "What was I thinking? Oh, I was trying to sleep with that player."
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know.
No, it's what was I thinking? Oh, I was playing with Corey.
So as they're trying to get out of Mithril Hall, they get attacked by the Duergar, and they're forced into a battle with a Shadow Dragon, who is the master of the Duergar. And because of Bruenor's heroic sacrifice, meanwhile, the funny part is that the author way early in the book says, not early in the book, they find one of Drizzt's weapons, which is a frost brand, which possessing a frost brand is a ring of fire resistance that gives you that whole thing. And because of that, um, um, Bruenor makes a heroic sacrifice, which ends up. I think the dragon gets pushed. It gets not doused, but basically, I think that he destroys its wings and it falls into a flaming pit with Bruenor, and they think he's dead. And
Right.
but that's not what ends up happening. But that doesn't happen. You don't hear that until the third book, which we'll get into. Driss gets reunited, and Troy takes advantage of the situation and grabs Regis and makes his escape, taunting Driss to follow him. And the story ends with Caddy Bree making arrangements for Clan Battlehammer to reclaim the hall, along with help from Wolfgar's tribe and the dwarves of Citadel Adbar, while Drizzt and Wolfgar begin their chase to rescue Regis from the assassin. That's the end of Streams of Silver. Okay, moving on.
And the introduction of wonderful character archetypes like the Battle Rager Dwarf, Thibbledorf Quint,
yes.
the Man, the Mission, the Muscle.
Yes. Absolutely. I love Thibbledorf Quint. Yeah. You want to talk about people going crazy over a character? When the Battle Rager got its kit in the complete book of dwarves, everybody wanted to run a freaking Battle Rager. Everybody. And they talk about Drizzt and copying things. Anyway.
I had the cleric version first, and yes, I was also riding a war boar before they did it in Lord of the Rings.
Yes, like you said, the ultimate four-wheel drive. Go ahead, Glenn.
I'm sorry, that's like Myrmidon.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
All right. The Halfling's Gem, the last one in this trilogy, before other trilogies come up. Okay, Drizzt and Wolfgar are racing to Kalimport to try to rescue Regis, who is held captive, along with Drizzt's magical panther Guinevere by the assassin Artemis Entreri. The stolen gem also he has. And so, while the chase continues, it's shown that Bruenor is not dead. It turns out Bruenor jumped onto the back of Shimmergloom, and he survived the fall and fire due to having hold of Drizzt's Imitar Icing Death, Frostbrand. And being invulnerable to the fire, besting the dragon, he crawls back to the surface. And then he tries to sneak past the Duergar, but he ends up having to fight through scores of them. And before being basically beat to crap and near death, he faces off against a giant spider and actually gets poisoned. he bricked his poison save. When's the last time you ever heard of a dwarf breaking its poison save?
Been there, done that.
It does happen, but it's exceedingly rare. So Lady Illustrial finds Bruenor, nurses him back to health, and reunites him with his daughter, and sends them both after Drizzt and Wolfgar on a flaming chariot, Sestari's chariot, if I'm not mistaken, which is a druidical spell. But I digress.
That's another Kroll callback of all that questing over land you did. Why, we've got a ride right here. Wah!
Yeah.
You're there.
Yep, exactly. Let's see. So, Drizzt and Wolfgar are on a boat, and they're chasing after Entreri. They get jumped by pirates. Bruenor and Caddy B arrive just as, just in the middle of the fight. Basically, if I remember correctly, Bruenor crashes the chariot into their enemies, and yeah, it's on from there. So now all four of them are reunited, and they take off for Kalimport. Let's see. They storm Pashapook's palace, only to find wererats, and they're fighting them. And Drizzt finally duels Artemis Entreri for a third time. They duel in the sewers, the streets of Kalimport, but once again, it's unfinished because Drizzt wounds Entreri, and in an effort to escape, basically calls out Drizzt as a drow, and that, of course, leads to the crowd wanting to kill Drizzt, and the others have to assist in protecting Drizzt from the crowd, and that enables Entreri to escape. A little cowardly on Entreri's part, but yeah, Entreri was going to die in that fight, I think. Let's see.
Total escape from LA moment, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, it gets even better than that. Pook imprisons Drizzt and his friends in Tartarus with the help of a demonic artifact called the Terrorist Hoop. Just when they seem there's no hope, Regis comes along, taking the wand that controls the portal and helping his friends. Let's see, they try to break free from the Demodans, but Caddy Bree becomes unconscious, floating in the air because of the circular plane that is Tartarus. That's interesting. Drizzt sends everyone away and rescues Caddy Bree. In the end, Pasha Pook dies by the claws of Guinevere, who was finally freed. They're all reunited. Soldiers from... Let's see. Oh, and everyone... and they also get... they also are joined by the... allies from the Dwarven Kingdoms, Barbarian Tribes, and the Human Cities to reclaim Mithril Hall, and that's pretty much the end of the book, although Entreri is vowing vengeance against Drizzt, and that's the end of the trilogy.
Of course, the other big plot hook that comes out of that is the fact that you just had a major power balance shift in a underground complex that delves as deep as dwarves dig. That was residents of a dragon, no less, and Duragar, which are Underdark species people. So this brings the names and faces of all these people back to the awareness of the drow that Drizzt escaped from in the first place.
And
putting him back on their I'm going to kill you for this list.
Yep. And the second trilogy explains why they want to kill him in the first place. And yes, then the trilogy after that, they go through that entire thing. Where basically Mithril Hall is... We'll probably cover it, but basically they regain Mithril Hall, and now the Drow are going to try to take over Mithril Hall and kill Drizzt in the process. But go ahead, Glenn. What are you going to say?
Folks, don't forget to tune in our next episode of THACO's Hammer featuring Brian's Story Time.
Oh, God. Yeah, I have a segment in my podcast called Story Time, so yes. I'm kind of good at this.
You know, we could have done this in the quarter of the time if we gotten Michael Pena to do it.
Oh, come on.
From Ant-Man. Oh, you know, and the drill. He just I would have loved to see him retell the Icewind Dale trilogy.
Oh my goodness. It's not an easy thing to do, and I need something to drink really fierce. Excuse me.
Well, we're at the end of the segment, so if you guys want to talk about this or anything, or how Brian tells a story, THACOshammer@gmail.com.
Hey, the tropes are tropes because the tropes work.
Yes,
they work because they're fun and because they always work.
Yes.
You can play against types, you can play with the types, you can play against with the type, and still have fun with it.
Yeah. And if you really want to hear me tell a story, go to anchor.fm/COAA, and there are multiple episodes where I tell stories about stuff when I was a child and when I was a teenager. So yeah, have at it. Have fun with it. Okay, I'm done.
One. Anyway, time to close Splat Book, I guess.
Yes,
We'll leave Icewind Dale and Mordenkainen and go on to other things.
Yeah, and don't forget the gelatinous cubes.
Yes, the gelatinous cubes. Say goodbye, Brian.
You are asking me to talk some more, really? Anyway, I'll see you guys on the next time, folks. Have fun out there.
Well, at least we didn't get some kind of philosophy out of you this time.
I'm brain dead now.
Okay, full on?
The only philosophy that matters. I have hit points left. You don't.
Okay, I'll take that. And until we see you next time, folks, you know what they say. We'll see you next time. Goodbye until the hammer comes down on THACO's Hammer. Bye-bye.
Ouch.
You can't beat that. You can't beat that wore out.
No, can't. Can't beat that with a baseball bat.
THACO's Hammer theme is provided by the Diablo Swing Orchestra. You'll find them on Jamendo.com. All other additional music for this episode was provided by Kevin MacLeod. You'll find more of his music on Incompetech.com. Be sure to visit our website at thacoshammer.info. If you have any questions or comments, email us at thacoshammer@gmail.com. Remember, that's an O, not a 0. You can also find us on the Second Edition forums at osrgaming.org and at purpleworm.org. Or give us a call and leave us a voicemail at 405-806-0555. See you next time when the hammer comes down on THACO's Hammer.